I said, BLM, you're killing us.
And we're ready to go. We're live.
All right. Thank you for joining us for the July 28, 2020 Yuma County Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. I'll go ahead and call this meeting to regular session. Can you please verify the quorum?
Okay. Well, they were asking, how many cases do we have? Just one?
Just one.
Oh,
Just
okay.
only one. That's why I didn't. Okay.
You want to go ahead and verify the quorum, member, please?
Yes. Mulhern?
Here.
Ron Rice?
Here.
John McKinley? Tim Bowers?
Here.
Danny Bryant? I know he's here.
So,
Danny Bryant?
I'm not hearing anyone. Can you guys hear me?
We hear you. He's there, so he'll figure out.
Okay. Matias Rosales?
Present.
Alicia Zermeno?
Present.
Gary Black?
Here.
Wayne Idy? Paul White?
Here.
Chairman, you do have a quorum.
All right, thank you. Do you have the flag image, or what we're doing with the flag situation?
Yes.
We're gonna go ahead and do the Pledge of Allegiance. She's gonna go ahead and put up a screen of the flag. Okay, so if everybody could do the Pledge of Allegiance, thank you. The Pledge of the United States of America.
Allegiance to the flag of
To the
the United States of America.
One nation,
The republic for which it stands,
indivisible, with liberty and
one
justice
nation,
for all.
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everybody. I'm gonna go ahead and read some meeting notes before we start. For those that are present in the hall in the chamber, park in the rear employee parking lot. Please move your
There
vehicle.
we go.
Member, can you mute everybody?
Yes, they're all muted. Excellent. Hold on. Matias, you're muted. I'm trying to ask you to unmute. When I hit mute all, it muted you as well.
All right, I got it.
There we go. Okay.
So let's try this one more time. So, okay.
All right.
If you park in the rear employee gated parking lot, please move your vehicle to the front north parking lot to avoid having your vehicle locked in. Please sign in on the sign-in sheet at the table by the rear door if you're in person at the podium. Please state your name and address for the record before speaking at the podium or through the Zoom web call. There's a 3-minute timer for those who wish to speak. I will decide if you can continue longer or if there's any questions past the 3-minute mark. Those who are present via Zoom, please remember to mute your microphone through the meeting when you're not speaking and unmute when you want to speak. Okay, thank you to everybody for listening to that housekeeping there. I'm going to go ahead and go to item number 3, approval of the Planning and Zoning Commission regular minutes of June 23rd, 2020. Everybody should be unmuted at this point. Did everybody get a chance to review those minutes? And if yes, does anyone have any questions or concerns, or do I hear a motion?
Chairman,
Mr. Chairman.
I motion that we approve the minutes from June meeting. I don't know what the date was.
I'll second.
So we have a motion, we have a second. Does anyone have any discussion with regard to this motion? Hearing none at this moment. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any against? Okay, motion passes. Thank you. Item number 4, rezoning case number 2013. Staff?
Thank you, Chairman. Let me get the presentation up on the screen. Can you see the presentation?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, this is rezoning case number 2013. This is a request by Craig Holding, acting as an agent for Charlie and Barbara Cranmore, requesting to rezone a parcel 19.81 acres in size from rural area 10-acre minimum to RPS. The property is located in the planning area at the northeast corner of Scottsdale Drive and 34th Place. And the intent is to develop a residential subdivision consisting of 43 lots. This is the vicinity map showing parcel 117 crosshatch, the subject property. And surrounding uses include to the north, parcel 13, zone R16. That is the future site of the Scottsdale, the 12E subdivision, which is currently has been approved by the Planning and Zoning Commission as a tentative plat, and is pending final review and approval. Then we have parcel 118 immediately to the west, which is just open desert, zone R810. To the south, we have the Scottsdale East Estates subdivision, zone R16, consisting of single-family residences, site-built homes. And to the east, we have the Rancho Rialto RV Park, zone manufactured home park. This is a very, very preliminary layout of the proposed subdivision that shows the proposed layout. And I believe there are like 43 lots. This is the aerial imagery that shows what's out there. And this is a view looking north at the subject parcel from 34th Place. This is looking south at the subject parcel towards Scottsdale East Estates. This is looking east at 34th Place. The subject property is to your left. This is looking west at 34th Place. Subject property is to your right. And we did receive comments from several divisions and from agencies and divisions. MCAS is recommending that application and range disclosure statements be recorded. Building safety will require hydrant spacing to meet international fire code, and that of course will be done during the plat submittal. We did receive opposition from 3 neighbors within 300 feet, and also 2 neighbors outside of the 300-foot radius. We also received just today, and you got copies of those, we received, I believe, 5 letters that are not really in opposition or in support, just have questions regarding traffic. And all those actually came from the subdivision that is to the west, the Yuma East Unit 2 subdivision, zone manufactured home. I believe people are concerned about traffic, the increase in traffic. If they were to build more homes out here, people are using, according to the letter that I read, people are using their local streets to gain access to Fortuna Road. Those were their concerns for the most part. Staff is recommending approval of this rezoning case with the following conditions: that they provide an ARS 1211-34 waiver, record a schedule for development disclosure statement and a range disclosure statement, and a request for navigation disclosure statement to be recorded. And then within 3 years of approval, the schedule for development would include 3 year that a final plat subdividing the subject property into parcels of at least 6,000 square feet and size to be submitted. And in here I show in red the letters in opposition, again, 3 within 300 feet, and 2 that identified their addresses outside of the 300-foot radius. And that concludes that presentation.
Chairman, you're muted.
Okay, thank you. You guys got me there? You hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation, Juan. Mr. Rubio. At this time, I'll bring it back to the commissioners for any questions that they might have to staff. Any commissioners have any questions? We're all unmuted, correct? Or are they unmuted? They're muted, but I don't see no one unmuting. Okay, so at this time, if no commissioners have any questions, I'll go ahead and open it up to the public for any questions or concerns. Anyone from the public would like to speak on this item? Please state your name and address, and reminder, we do have a 3-minute limit. Thank you.
And move it up a little bit.
There you go. That's perfect. Thank you, ma'am.
Is it on? Okay. My name is Deanne Mooney. I was one of the authors of a letter. I live on 34th Street and in the Yuma East designated community for older people. And I want to start off by saying this morning that I watched a neighbor take 45 seconds to shuffle over to across the street to her mailbox and then back to her house. Traveling at even the speed limit, that puts her at risk of bodily injury on a daily basis. Scottsdale currently doesn't handle the traffic from our local areas, especially from Yuma Estates or Scottsdale Estates. The condition of the road is poor. The width is not up to county standards, and there are no sidewalks. The issue of speeding in our community has been brought before the county many times, and to date, there has been very little speed mitigation that has occurred. The last formal study that was done about the same time that Scottsdale Estates was being built. And since that has been built, we have a lot of traffic traveling through Yuma East at high rates of speed, using our streets as a thoroughfare to Fortuna. Is the document camera on? Document camera's not on. Okay.
Maybe you want to show it on the screen.
So I can show it on the screen. Currently, 34th Place in particular is being used as a through street to get to Fortuna, because cars that are traveling along Scottsdale cannot turn left onto the south frontage road. This proposed site would only increase that problem. Because the vehicles have difficulty turning left onto the frontage street, we are requesting that a stoplight be installed at Scottsdale and South Frontage Road to handle the additional problems that this will create. In addition, we're requesting that stop signs be erected along 34th Street, 34th Place, 35th Street, and 35th Place to slow traffic down and to impede people from using our community as through streets to get to Fortuna and the stoplight at the South Frontage Road there. Please consider putting in, for the safety of our elderly community, please put a stoplight in at Scottsdale and South Frontage Road as part of this request for subdivision.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments. Anyone else from the public in person at the chambers or via Zoom would like to comment in regards to this item? Well, someone at the chambers, there we go. All right, thank you. Please state your name and address for the record.
Deborah Diggets, 11573 East 35th Street.
Okay.
I think our concern is, everybody keeps saying the zoning for this is for houses, but they're asking for a zoning change. Now, if it's already zoned to do houses, stick houses in there, why are we changing the zoning for these houses? There's got to be a reason. And, you know, somebody says, well, it's easier for the builder. Why is it easier then? Because he can get his change and then put in RVs, and well, that ain't gonna happen. You can't stop him if you change the zoning, and we can't stop him. I've been through this once in California. So what's the difference between these two zonings, and why would he want one over the other?
Okay, thank you. Anyone else from the public, from in person at the chambers or via Zoom? Seeing none, we'll bring it back to the commissioners for any questions to staff or any input in regards to any comments you guys might have.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Mr. White?
is the developer present?
Yes.
Okay, I was curious if we hadn't heard from the developer yet.
I was waiting to be asked.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go ahead and let the developer have any questions or bring it or address any of the concerns brought up by the public. Go ahead.
Yeah, sure. First of all, we're proposing some development along Scottsdale Drive. Our frontage on the 12 East subdivision that's already been approved, it doesn't have a lot of frontage, but because of that development and this development, which is going to connect to that development, we're proposing to complete the improvements along Scottsdale Drive. Right now, it's only half width. We're proposing to finish out from Scottsdale East or Scottsdale East Estates all the way up to the South Frontage Road. So we're going to do widening. There's going to be curb and gutter and sidewalk, but we can only do the sidewalk and curb and gutter right in front of our development because of drainage issues with the other parcels. We do not own those other two parcels to the north and to the south of the 12 East subdivision. But we are going to widen. We're proposing to widen the street there. So that's additional work we're doing on Scottsdale Drive to try to alleviate the narrow roadway through there. As far as the reason for the RVS zoning, we're doing almost identical. Well, it is identical lot size and everything to the 10 East project that we just completed. That went very quickly. The reason this zoning is desired, there's one similar to it in the city of Yuma, but the county restricts the lot width in the fronts on the R16 to 60 feet. And so when you have a cul-de-sac or a knuckle, there's often times where we come to a narrower lot, and it makes it impossible really to do those lots. So we might have a, excuse me, a 50-foot lot width or smaller where we can get the driveways in with those knuckles and cul-de-sacs where we can't with the R16 zoning. The other thing that this zoning gives us is a different setback. The other zonings allow or require 20-foot setback. With this RVS zoning setback, we can go to 10-foot setback. So what that does is it staggers the houses along the street, so they're not all lined up together. There's some variation, even though they still usually go the 20-foot setback. There's some more options, but the main reason is the lot width problem with the other zonings on the cul-de-sacs and the knuckles. This is if anyone wants to take a look at the 10 East project that was just recently completed. The houses were built very quickly, and it's a very nice development. This is basically going to be identical to that. It's going to connect to the 12 East project. We're just waiting for final approvals. We didn't have this piece of property to connect it to that project when we did that, but this will follow right on the heels of the 12 East construction with the same stick site-built homes that have been so popular over in the 10 East subdivision. Same developer, same owner. Eventually, we'll do all the development and construction there. Happy to answer any other questions you members might have.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Rubio, did you have a comment or question to add on?
Yes, Chairman Rosales, just to add clarification, since someone in the public was asking about the type of zoning. The type of zoning being proposed is RVS, and the RVS zoning district is intended to provide subdivisions that allow either recreational vehicles, manufactured homes, or site-built homes. If the property is at least 6,000 square feet, they would be allowed by right to have a manufactured home and an RV, a manufactured home and an RV, or two RVs. So just to add clarification, the Tennessee subdivision was also zoned RVS, but I believe they actually just built site-built homes. Just driving by there, I've never seen any kind of RV being lived in that subdivision. And I don't remember if that was regulated through the CCNRs. Maybe Craig could provide some input on that.
I'd have to ask the owner, but yes, there were CCNRs. It was a strictly stick-built home with no other buildings or facilities allowed on the lots. The lots are just too small for anything else. Once the stick-built house is built on there, there's no room for RVs or anything else to be built. And yes, correct, the zoning was RVS at that one for the same reasons. It's just easier for when we go around those knuckles and when we have cul-de-sacs, it's easier to do the front of the lots to get them narrower when needed.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. Anyone else from the commissioners have any questions or input?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just want to make a couple comments. I was glad to hear Craig comment about widening Scottsdale. I think that helps some of the neighbors. I'd note that there were no letters of opposition from people living on 34th. One thing I noticed in driving by this was that there's a drain just east of the intersection with Scottsdale Road on 34th. That is a pretty deep depression it acts very nicely as a speed bump right as you come to the intersection. So I think that some of the traffic concerns are addressed, especially those directly regarding this development. And with that, then I would make a motion to approve of the request.
Okay, we have a motion. Any further discussion from the commissioners?
I will second the motion.
I do have one more question before I call for vote. On that 34th place, are there, besides that dip, is there any other traffic or speed control being considered or anything for the people cutting through to address some of those questions or concerns on the letters to the developer or staff?
Arturo?
This is Arturo with engineering. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a request internally to evaluate those streets. But looking at the overall map, I mean, 35th place, it's a local collector which should run all the way to Fortuna Road. But as far as other people speeding on the other residential streets, I'm gonna talk to one of my colleagues and see what can it be done.
Okay, all right, and keep in mind the post box location and so forth. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Keep in mind that when we approved 12 East subdivision, there was a traffic study requirement.
Okay.
Still pending, and that if the developer and the county doesn't come to an agreement as far as the improvements, we're gonna go with a traffic impact study.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Alvarez. All right, so we have a motion, we have a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll now go for vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any against? Okay, motion passes. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for their commenting. Item number 5, discussion by the commission members, planning director events, attended current events, scheduling future planning commissions and meetings. Anyone have any events to discuss besides Zoom meetings that you've been attending? Discuss. I'm kind of zoomed out already, but nothing. All right. Hearing none, I will now call a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Got a motion, we have a second.
A second,
A motion, got a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 All right, your motion to adjourn has been passed.